Welcome to the podcast for Should Have Said No, Part 1. Tonight featured cake in full effect to the hatred of many loyal viewers out there. Claire and Jake were kissing multiple times in this episode, once in a dream, but still a few in real life. And of course there was a scene with Eli and Claire, as Eli is moving on to Imogen and Claire is, now trying to move on to Jake. So it seems like Claire and Jake both don't really want to get into relationships, and they're going to try the whole very popular thing right now, friends with benefits. As many of you probably know, in the past year there have been 2 movies that were centered around this. Countless television shows and, people in real life, everyone trying this friends with benefits policy, which kind of was the same thing with the Sadie, Dave, Allie storyline, along with Casey and Marisol. Can a guy be friends with a girl? Can a girl be friends with a guy and not have any intentions of, making it go any further? Personally, I really don't think that's possible. I think in every relationship, whether you're a guy or you're a girl and you're friends with someone of the opposite sex, there's always someone, no matter what you say, there's always someone who wants it to go further or who wouldn't mind if it went further, you know what I mean? Allie and Dave hanging out, you can tell there's obviously chemistry there, but even if there wasn't right away, eventually by them spending time together, hanging out alone, there would eventually be something and it would develop into something. It's really hard for a male and a female to just be friends because obviously it's in the nature to form a relationship and to, do things in a relationship. One of the things I liked about Dave and Sadie's storyline was that Sadie wasn't being possessive, and she was, letting Dave go out with, quote, Adam, unquote, even though he was really going out with Allie. So even though Dave lied, at least Sadie, wasn't being so possessive to the point where she wouldn't even let him go out with another guy. He lied to her now, which is going to make her upset. Why there was good points brought up tonight. Why would you lie about it if you're just friends? So we're going to see that tomorrow as shown in the preview when Sadie has a little explosion at movie night. Also, in the Claire storyline, I like that they're still focusing on the divorce, that it's affecting her, and, Jake went through something similar, and the parents this season have all been great, and I like when the parents kind of have their own storylines going in the background. I mean, obviously, we don't want to focus an entire episode or whatever on it, but when it ties in to what the children actors are going through in their storylines and, just little background things here and there. Those are always fun to see because obviously parents play a big role in their kids' lives and they impact them and affect them. And I like that, the divorce thing is still very, relevant in Claire's life, and we're getting a depiction of it. The Drew storyline to me is still very good. I'm really enjoying it. There was something about his character tonight when he was back on screen. He looked completely different. Everything about him just felt completely different. Almost like it was an entire new person. And to a point, he kind of is an entire different person now. His entire life has been, flipped around and into something, outrageous and crazy, and he doesn't really know what to do. A lot of people online have been going back and forth whether or not this paranoia is logical. Honestly, to me, I think it's extremely logical. For one, Drew was always the jock, the cool kid, the popular guy. He never went through, anything even remotely like this. And he started going, in a spiral, just everything with Allie at the end of the year, all that drama. Getting threatened by a gang. I'm sure there aren't very many Degrassi viewers who can say that they have been, beat up by a gang and threatened by a gang, so no one can really judge what they would do in that situation because you can't really, say what you would do until you're actually in the situation. And I think, the writers have depicted it pretty good from, it doesn't seem out of line at all. If I was, beat up by a gang and, had, threatened my life to be, killed, I don't think the way Drew acted would be very different than what I would act like. And, and now it's kind of like, well, maybe Drew has something wrong with him. Maybe he has a disorder now caused from this, and something's wrong in his mind, and it's not that he's just paranoid. We'll see what happens from there. I mean, tomorrow someone's coming in the school. Now, we know Teen Nick is famous for their misleading promos, and this season I really haven't been reading any spoilers or anything, so I don't know if they've already explained who this guy is that shows up and if he really is a threat. But personally, I mean, he's probably a nobody. I don't know. Teen Nick always has their promos that are very misleading. Thanks for listening to the podcast tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please spread it around on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr. Let people know about it. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks. Degrassi Extra. Shh. I thought we were going to get a Darcy Edwards reappearance tonight when Claire came out of bed and thought someone was breaking in. For some reason, I thought Darcy was going to appear. I don't know, but I'm still hoping somehow we're going to see Darcy come in. I thought she could have came in and gave some advice to Claire about what to do with Jake, or